What's up, my Northern Nordists? This is the Undead Warning here, and let's talk about Elder Scrolls. Before we get into this video, let me introduce to you who I am. I'm the Undead Warden, and you know what? I've been obsessed with Skyrim ever since I played it back in 2012. I know it came out in 2011. I was one of those late starters, but in reality, fell in love with the game either way. I'm so obsessed with the game, dude. I bought it on the 360, the Xbox One, the PS4, my Series S, and since it transferred over, my Series X. So let's put it in perspective on how much I love this damn game, okay? Not everybody can sit there and get 75 out of 75 achievements and still be obsessed. Let's get into the reason why I'm making this video. Main thing that I want to bring up is the fact that where the hell is Elder Scrolls 6? So you know what, let's jump into it and let's talk Elder Scrolls. The Xbox Showcase passing by like it does every year, sadly, because, you know, E3 is no longer a thing. It seems like we're in this rundown of we keep expecting or keep hoping that Elder Scrolls 6 is going to be announced that year, or even Halo fans are hoping that Halo passes down there. I am one of those, as you can tell. But the point being is, where is Elder Scrolls 6? We've been waiting patiently, but in all fairness, this year we had Elder Scrolls Oblivion drop. Oblivion dropping, I started to believe in a theory that it has dropped for the sole purpose of a testing ground. Well, what do you mean a testing ground? Well, I'll tell you. The undead man here, he'll tell you a little bit, okay? So, with it being a testing ground in the sense that graphically and the nature of it, okay? So, one of the biggest things with that game coming out is the fact of everybody looks at it in the graphics, okay? This game came out with one of the best remake/remastered graphics that have ever came out to date. I mean, hell, look at this clip of me just standing by the lake on top of my horse and how alive it feels. How is the graphics any different than Resident Evil 2 or the original Oblivion? Alright? Well, let's talk about it, okay? So, in the sense of a remaster or a remake, it's known as the remastered. However, it has elements of a remake in the sense of the way that you fight. It's not just / go. It's / stab 3 different things or something of that nature, right? And then to top it off, when we go back to talking about graphics and whatnot, we look at the graphics and we're like, dang, you have the sun rays, you have the visual mindset that you love and that everybody else can enjoy to like. Somber music, the way that it makes you feel so immersed into the game. Another video I want to bring up is the fact of my gameplay experience is when I'm helping the townspeople of Kvatch that the Oblivion Gate just opened. It's destroying their town and they have nowhere else to go. You can see how the characters and NPCs are rushing to try and help. Again, undead, but what's this got to do with Elder Scrolls 6? Okay, well, this game was created with both the original game engine plus the Unreal Engine 5. And so what I'm thinking is that they came out with this game trying to see the graphics and limitations that they could have, at least with the Unreal Engine 5. First of all, I didn't even know you could do a remaster with 2 different engines. Maybe I'm oblivious to all that. However, that was not a pun. So, Shadow dropped the game. They dropped it a day after they posted just the picture, right? So what does this mean for Elder Scrolls 6? Would they shadow drop it? Would they just not let anybody know, and then bam, there it is. Well, pros and cons, of course, right? So we got pro number one. Pro number one being is, well, nobody leads up these expectations of how this game is going to look, how this game is going to be. But we don't even have an idea of when and where this game is going to release, which I'll get to later. The only thing that we do know for certain right now is the fact of there's an Elder Scrolls 6, right? So how does this tie back in with Oblivion? Well, graphically speaking, if you want to test your limitations on a game with the Unreal Engine 5 per se, and you're able to do it with Oblivion, send it out because you've been testing with it for the past however long Oblivion Remastered was in development for, then maybe they can come up with some kind of time frame or some type of idea on when they want to drop Elder Scrolls 6. With that being said, Bethesda has been having other issues in the sense that they've been focusing on other games. And, you know, rightfully so. We want to make sure that people are playing games, right? People are playing their games specifically. However, they've been focusing on Doom and Starfield. That being said, though, they've been pretty distracted with other games. I mean, other than remasters or anniversary editions that we've gotten for Skyrim, we've only had ESO, and we've also only had the remaster. I'm not counting the games, however, screw you Bethesda for taking away Elder Scrolls Legends. It's one of my favorite mobile games. So, what I'm trying to get at though is, I feel like even though we have all this content, we're in like some type of content recession. In hindsight, I didn't have an issue with Starfield, right? I downloaded it like most other people have, played it, and cat bombed. I wasn't able to hold my mind straight into Starfield, and I think the biggest issue that I was having with Starfield is the fact of, why did it feel so bone dry, right? Why did it feel like it was hard to play? I got to a situation where I had to download Star Wars mods to feel entertained, to feel like there was some point to this game. Just because, you know, I was going through a Star Wars phase again, and that was the closest thing I could do. And then recently, Doom: The Dark Ages dropped, and everybody was mixed reviews. I've seen a lot of people love the game. However, it took a lot of the mechanics out that they loved from previous Doom games, and which is fine. I mean, I personally don't play Doom. I've played a little bit of the one that came out back in, I think it was 2018 or so, and I enjoyed it, but I never got straight into the game. We go back into the nature of, okay, what are they focusing on? Well, another thing that was shown on the Xbox showcase was Elder Scrolls Online. The game I forgot to bring up is Fallout 76. Terrible launch, but is now a good game. And honestly, they've been eating well. They've got this new DLC coming out. Now you can fish in the game, all that fun stuff. But the big issue is, it seems like they're focused more on other franchises than they are Elder Scrolls itself. This being said, Elder Scrolls Online is not necessarily a bad game. However, they want money out of that game. There's just so much, so many DLCs, and they're expensive. They're not cheap. And then to top it off, with it being an MMORPG, it's not everyone's cup of tea. Honestly, I would like to sell my left nut if I knew when this game was coming out.
I'll make that deal. How about you, you bitch? You make that deal?
Now, I'm not saying Elder Scrolls Online is a bad game, right? We all have our cup of tea. We all like what we like. We all like what we don't like. That doesn't make sense. It's a paradox. Anyways, my point getting to is that right now they're celebrating their 10-year anniversary where they got this cool statue, and then you got these cool other things that you can get. and the DLC and this roadmap and whatnot, right? And I enjoy playing the game, for sure, right? But let's get back to the subject. Where is Elder Scrolls 6? I mean, we haven't heard anything about this game since June 18th, 2018. And it was just a trailer. And of course, one of the biggest issues is with game developments, it was put on a backlog since 2020 and 2019 due to YouTube restrictions. I'm not allowed to say why. So, but it's obvious, right? We were all not in the best stages around there. Even if the game doesn't come out, some sort of trailer, some sort of gameplay, some sort of belief that we're getting this game sometime soon. I've said it at least 3,000 times in this video, is where is the game at? And the truth is, we don't know. All we know is that this game is in early production and early making. And it's sad, but I think soon, in the next couple of years, we'll get this game. And in conclusion, we just gotta wait. That's all I can really say about this game, is sadly, all we can do is wait. As much as I want this game to be released before our world leaders decide that they want to turn on each other and not have a great time, I just want this game to be out. Thanks for tuning into this video. I hope you like it. If you liked it, like and subscribe. If you didn't, let me know why, okay? The other thing I wanted to say is I have a lot to plan with this channel. I want to dive into Elder Scrolls lore a bit. I want to dive into other games lore. I even want to bring in Star Wars, maybe some Halo, maybe some other things, right? Again, I don't want to be strict down to just one group. However, I might post more and more of something. If you like this video, like I said, give me a like and subscribe. If not, I leave you with Cat Bomb.